ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I'd like to thank Tracy, who kindly agreed to moderate and MC today's proceeding. She's one of Australia's most well-known journalists. She's also an author who's widely published and acknowledged in her own right. And as she said, she spent a lot of time in Papua New Guinea. Her dad worked for Ansett. She's done documentaries up the Sepik River and other places. So she definitely qualifies to be known as a one-talk. She also has extended family in PNG. Prime Minister William Dim is is part of her extended family as a relative, as part of all the Dim family in PNG. So Tracy, thank you so much for agreeing to moderate and be the MC today and guiding us through the program today. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 17th Papua New Guinea Mining, actually it's changed now, Resources and Energy Investment Conference. It's been running for about 40 years. This is the 17th one, and the treasurer was reminding me about how small it was back when he was last here as mining minister to speak, 27 years ago. I'm straight out, treasurer. When it was much different outlook for us, much harder to attract investment. People didn't really want to come and attend or look at investing in Papua New Guinea. Everybody was leaving. I think BHP and Rio were leaving. Shell and BP were selling out, treasurer, and things have definitely changed then because they're struggling to get 300 people into a conference room, and now we're looking at 1,500 people, and we've got the International Convention Center. So definitely PNG has moved on up since those days. So this conference is hosted by the newly renamed Chamber of Resources and Energy, otherwise known by its acronym PNGCORE. PNGCORE is an industry body representing the minerals, resources, energy industry in Papua New Guinea. The industry is more than the companies that are the members of the chamber. It is the Papua New Guineans that work for these companies and that work for their contractors. It is the PNG businesses that provide goods and services to the projects. It is the landowners and the community stakeholders. It is also the alluvial miners and the ecosystem participants that support them. The resources and energy sector is also a long-term development partner for PNG. And we are very proud of what we have helped to achieve so far for a stronger PNG. And we're looking forward to growing our presence in the country over the many years to come. Our focus remains strong on creating a brighter future for everyone, local, provincial, and PNG. Our shareholders, employees, through safe and responsible development of PNG's mineral resource energy potential. So apart from that intro, I'd like to start by the acknowledgements. Firstly, I acknowledge the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, the Honourable James Marape. Sir, thank you for accepting our invitation to attend and deliver the keynote address for this conference, where your government and the private sector in Papua New Guinea work together to promote international investment into our country. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of other representatives of the PNG government here, Treasurer Ian Staki, Petroleum Energy Minister Karenga Kua, Mining Minister Sir Arno Pala, State Enterprises Minister and my one-talk from Hagen, Mahapa William Duma, and all the other ministers, vice ministers, governors, and MPs of the PNG government, who are here as part of a united front with industry and private sector to promote investment into our country. I would also like to acknowledge Senator Tim Ayres, the Deputy Minister for Trade and Deputy Minister for Manufacturing for the Australian Federal Government, who is here to show the support for our efforts and the efforts of the Prime Minister in promoting investment on behalf of the Australian Government. I wish to also acknowledge the many senior representatives from the PNG government agencies, from Papua New Guinea international companies that invest and operate in PNG, and from the international institutions that finance, support, or work in PNG. Companies like ANZ Bank, like the IFC, like the World Bank, and others that play a significant role in supporting our economy. Thank you for the important work that you are all doing in Papua New Guinea, building the economy, providing jobs, providing training to our young people, and contributing to the development of our communities in our country. We appreciate your attendance at this conference to help promote investment in PNG and to discuss and share opportunities to collaborate, to advance our mutual interests with the ultimate aim of moving our country forward, both economically and socially. So this is PNG's major investment conference. Its purpose is to promote PNG as an investment destination, particularly in the resources and energy sector, which accounts for around 90% of the country's exports. PNGCORE works very closely with the national government, particularly in the last few years with Prime Minister Marape's government, in using the conference and the exhibition to promote the government agenda and government policies, the investment opportunities and opportunities for trade in PNG with PNG companies and with PNG projects, and generally to promote Papua New Guinea's attractiveness as an investment destination. Now, the conference is traditionally held in Sydney, and people ask why. The primary reason is due to the ease of access of international attendees and investors to travel to Sydney compared to traveling to Port Moresby or other locations. And it's also due to the historical significance of Australia as an important source of investment into PNG and expertise. Over the years, this conference has been very successful in attracting and promoting investment opportunities, with significant amount of business done on the margins of the conference, between project promoters and investors, between Papua New Guinea and PNG government and investors, and between projects and potential suppliers, customers, and partners. This year, the conference promises to be bigger and better. As you can see, we have a new venue, the Sydney International Convention Centre, with sufficient capacity to cater for the expected 1,500 attendees, and the 90 or so exhibition booths on level 2. It is the biggest that we've ever done as a country overseas. We also have a dynamic program featuring 102 speakers, 102 speakers, business leaders, government leaders, and thought leaders from Papua New Guinea and internationally who will be speaking over the next 3.5 days. And we started yesterday, and for yesterday's pre-conference session that focused on climate change and renewables, I'd like to thank the speakers, people like New Power's Michael Uari, IFC's Aisha So, our good friend Alan Gu from Edavu Hydro, and the other speakers who spoke yesterday. That session was well attended. I'm told the room was packed, and it was extremely well received. The feedback from attendees was extremely positive, with a lot of sharing of experiences regarding the development of PNG's renewable energy potential. So today's formal plenary will kickstart with the keynote address by our guest of honor, the Prime Minister, James Marape, on his outlook for PNG for the next 12 to 14 months. Prime Minister's agenda, and particularly the Prime Minister's view of the next wave of projects in terms of timing and impact. And as I said last year, Prime Minister, your government is at that unique juncture in our nation's history. It's the first time in our country is on the brink of delivering not just one, but 4 major resource projects totaling over $30 billion in investment. The Papua LNG, Pinyang, the reopening of Porgera, and the Wafi Copper Gold Project. Looking at the experience of the economic transformation that occurred as a result of PNG LNG, it's almost certain, in my view, PM, and I know that accords with your view, that PNG's GDP will double from its present levels over the next 8 years, just from the production and completion of projects that I've mentioned and the consequential impetus it will provide to the economy. So it is an exciting time. And Prime Minister, your recent achievements, including last week's security partnership agreement with Australia, will provide even greater assurance for investments in Papua New Guinea. I'm looking forward to the Prime Minister's speech and to his fireside chat with Tracy shortly. But let me also talk about the rest of the program. Today will also feature addresses and panel discussion by senior leaders and experts of the major investors in PNG's resources and energy sector regarding international investment trends and their impact on PNG's projects, their impact on PNG's investability generally, and their outlook on their investments in PNG. Hopefully, they will talk, as Kevin Gallagher and Darren Woods shared recently from Exxon and Santos respectively, that Papua New Guinea is now at the top tier of nations in terms of political risk, of sovereign risk, and adherence to fiscal terms that are agreed. Now, that's a huge change for us as a country. From that narrative that was painted 20 years ago about being a very unstable politically country to come and invest in, we've seen that the wheels and the tables have totally turned. And that's a result of great work by governments over the last 20 years, and particularly a lot of the people that are in this room in the private sector. So today's presentation features a number of new faces that I think it's really important for me personally to acknowledge, as the companies they lead will play an outsized role in contributing to our economy and investing in PNG, both now and into the future. So firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of a new face. Literally, they completed the deal in November, and that's Tom Palmer, the president and CEO of the world's largest gold company, Newmont. Now, Tom's sitting here in the front with the Prime Minister. As you know, the big news in the mining industry in 2023 was undoubtedly Newmont's $15 billion acquisition of Newcrest, which closed on the 6th of November 2023, less than 5 weeks ago, Tom. Consolidating Newmont's position as the world's largest gold company with a market capitalization of $45 billion. Now, there was some conjecture in financial media from commentators about whether Newmont would dispose or keep Newcrest's PNG assets. Well, the good news is that Newmont didn't just commit to PNG, but they doubled down in a big way. Firstly, they ensured that 100 million of shares were listed on POM stocks to be made available to PNG shareholders to acquire, allowing retail investors, Papua New Guinean mums and dads to gain exposure to Newmont's growth, and particularly the opportunities that come through the development of Wafi-Golpu. And secondly, Tom announced that they were setting up a PNG as a regional business unit of its own, separate from Australia, run out of Port Moresby, with its own managing director to administer Lihir and Newmont's interest in Wafi-Golpu and any other interest that they acquire or develop in the future. Now, Tom is an Aussie, fourth-generation miner. He's the son of legendary Rio Tinto mining executive Terry Palmer, who those of us who had some involvement with Bougainville remember that Terry had an involvement with Bougainville, with BCL back in the 90s. He's also a big fan of Newcastle Knights, so I apologize for that. I was telling Tom last night that coming all the way to PNG, so recently after deal completion, the CEO of the world's largest company, to speak at this conference about his confidence in PNG as an investment destination, engenders a lot of goodwill in PNG custom. It's something, Tom, we call passing. The behaviors of showing respect and courtesy that go a long way, and it's something that Papua New Guineans don't forget. And additionally, sitting next to Tom is a good old friend of ours who was not able to make the conference last year due to ill health. It's so good to see him again. It's Peter Steenkamp, the CEO of Harmony. Very, very good friend of Smaré. They've been in there keeping Hidden Valley going through thick and thin over the last 20 years. And it's good to see Peter back here again. And it's Peter, congratulations on the Springboks victory. This is also, there's also a change of leadership in Exxon, who are an outsized player and contributor to our economy. And this is Tara Chandro's first Sydney conference. Tara took over from Peter Larden earlier this year, having moved over from the head office in Houston. And she's already in the thick of things, supporting Exxon's partner Total Energies with the Papua LNG project, pushing forward with the development of the Pinyang project, as well as the exciting exploration work that Exxon is doing in PNG. So Tara, welcome. Please, if you could go out of your way when you see Tara to thank you for coming. She relocated a whole family, including her daughters, aged 12 and 9, to come and live in Papua New Guinea, which is fantastic. Speaking of Total, this is also the first time there was a change of leadership at Total, with the senior VP changing, with Thomas Marasse joining as senior VP for Asia Pacific. And it's his first time attending this conference, and he will be overseeing the delivery of the Papua LNG. So I hope that you also make an effort to say hi to Tom and welcome him to our community. So Newmont and Harmony under Tom and Peter are developing the giant Wafi-Golpu gold project, supported by Kumul Minerals. Total Energy, Exxon, Santos. Greetings, Brett Daly, who's standing in for Kevin Gallagher today, who was a late cancellation. Together with Kumul Petroleum, under the leadership of Wapu Sonk and their partners, are developing the next wave of large LNG projects in the pipeline for PNG. Papua LNG, and Pinyang. These projects are the projects that will drive the expected doubling of PNG's GDP. Each of these speakers today will share positive messages about their optimism for the projects that they are delivering, but also about how PNG measures positively against global and regional peers for political risk and investment confidence. In some of these areas, surpassing Australia. This afternoon, we'll hear from the Treasurer, the Honourable Yingling Stuckey, about PNG's economic outlook and strategies for managing the growth that we expect, and two speakers from ANZ Bank about the economy and projections of how the economy will be impacted by these projects. We also have, as I said, Senator Ayres, who will share with us on behalf of the Australian government its outlook on its evolving relationship with PNG, with new agreements concluding this year, which include economic, cultural, and security partnerships, which they signed last week between PNG and Australia. Tuesday's program features the traditional updates on our existing and upcoming projects, with significant positive news being reported on all, including good progress on the milestones for Porgera's imminent reopening. Today's sessions will also set the stage, importantly, for Wednesday's program, which we have provocatively themed as PNG companies getting ready for the boom. And yes, I have been deliberately provocative with the title. You know, having personally witnessed the missed opportunities by PNG companies with the first LNG project in the early 2010s, when we were not ready, not just for the project, but for the doubling of the GDP, or tripling of GDP that occurred. It is my fear, as a Papua New Guinean business leader, that PNG companies and companies operating or trading in PNG have not adequately readied themselves for the opportunities that these projects will provide. Challenging economic conditions over the past few years has introduced, in my view, a lingering sense of pessimism and doubt with many PNG companies. And I worry that they are letting that pessimism hold them back for readying themselves properly to maximize the opportunities to benefit or participate in the boom. So due to the perspective I have in terms of the role that I play with the Chamber, and that I speak to all players in the new projects regularly, I'm convinced that these projects will be delivered, with the only conjecture regarding the precise timing of when they're delivered. And so in my view, it is important, and this is the call that I make, or call to action I make to everybody here, that PNG companies act with a greater sense of urgency to ready themselves to participate in the opportunities that the projects will provide. And that is why that's the message the Prime Minister will be delivering this morning, and I hope strongly that the challenge that the Treasurer will deliver in the afternoon will be enough to encourage people to start to get ready for the boom, with the fear that we will miss out. So day 3, it sets up for day 3's program, which features an extensive agenda opened by the Minister of State Enterprises, and that features various companies talking about how they are readying themselves to participate in the boom. It will be informative, but hopefully it will catalyze thinking and action by attendees on whether or not they are doing enough to maximize their opportunities and their readiness to benefit from the upcoming projects and the ancillary economic impact that it's going to have. I thank all the speakers from the companies and government agencies who are speaking on day 3. So I have been attending this particular conference since 1999 when I was a first-year lawyer. And there are a number of things that I have learned over the years about maximizing the value of this conference for attendees. I think the first is that the program is engaging, it's thematic, and each speaker has a perspective and information of significant value. So my call to those who are new to this conference is try as much as possible to attend as many sessions as you can, to listen to speakers who are experts in their field, who are leaders of companies that are the market leaders in their sectors, and have unique perspectives and can offer advice and insights that are invaluable. My second call and encouragement to you all is to network, network, network. The value of this conference is that it is without peer in terms of getting anybody who's anybody regarding investments in PNG, government or private sector, in the same place, at the same time, all focused on the same purpose of making new connections and forging relationships of mutual benefits. The Prime Minister's here, the Treasurer's here, the Ministers are here, the Governors here, the MPs are here, the heads of the government agencies are here. Everybody that's anybody in government is here. Everybody that's the leader of all the companies that drive our economy are here. It is a fantastic place for getting business done, for making new connections and exploring and acting on new opportunities. And most of the value of this conference happens with the business that gets done on the margins. A lot of the magic happens with serendipity, that word that we use at CanConnect in Ley in August. The chance meeting with someone you did not previously know, with an opportunity that is game-changing or life-changing for you or your business. This conference, because of its scale and because of how the program is designed and the setting, provides the perfect venue for serendipity to happen. So please, over the next 3 days, visit all the booths on level 2. Use the coffee breaks, the lunch breaks, the cocktail functions, the Tuesday night gala dinner where 1,000 people are attending to meet new people and explore new opportunities. Hand out your business cards, share your LinkedIn contacts, share your WhatsApp contacts, share your Telegram contacts or whatever other social media you use. And don't be shy to tell people about what you do, what you can help with, and what you are looking for. The opportunities are too great to not at least give it a go. And in closing, thank you for your support and your attendance. I wish you all the best for the next 3 days. I hope you'll find this week is engaging, productive, and leads to better opportunities in business for you for the next 12 months and beyond. Best wishes and good luck. Thank you.